Hello there, lovely people. Welcome back to my channel where we typically focus on grammar and writing, but today, like the last video, we're going to focus on words. Words as they pertain to protesting. Okay, so protesting in essence is a statement or an action expressing disapproval of something. So there are two ways that I gave in the last video to protest with your words. One way is by blogging. That's very public, a public way to express your disapproval of something, particularly racial injustice. And then there are letter writing campaigns. Now, there were a couple of people who've reached out to me and say, okay, Naila, I get it, but where do I start? I hear you. I think I have a great template for you guys. Beyoncé Knowles Carter. Just this past Sunday, she wrote a letter to the Attorney General. I believe his name is Daniel Cameron. Now, why this is important and why I wanted to read it today, because I feel like it'll be a great outline for you guys to write your own letters. We need more letters. Now, my email is not as eloquent as Miss Carter's, but my words still matter. Your words matter. If it's okay, I'm going to put on my glasses and read the letter just in case you guys haven't read it or haven't come across it online. Don't worry. It's right here. And I love how Beyoncé, she addressed three things in the letter. One, the correct person. In this case, the mayor and the attorney general in Louisville or Louisville, however you pronounce it. Two, she addressed the problem. Breonna Taylor still doesn't have justice. And then three, she addressed the solution that we're still waiting on. So those are just three tidbits to help you write your letter. But I'm going to read Beyoncé's because it's very, very, very good. Here we go. June 14th, 2020. The Honorable Daniel Cameron, Office of the Attorney General, and she gave the address. Dear Attorney General Cameron. So again, the first thing Beyoncé did was she addressed the right person. In this case, we are addressing the mayor or the attorney general, or both. Both is fine. Okay, and she says, it has now been over 3 months since members of the Louisville Metro Police Department, LMPD, killed Breonna Taylor. She's addressing the problem. First, you address the right person. Then number two, address the problem. That's a problem. It's been over 3 months. Problem. Plainclothes officers with a no-knock warrant forced their way into her apartment where she was asleep and unarmed. Moments later, the officers fired over 20 shots into Breonna Taylor's home, striking her at least 8 times. While Breonna's law, passed in Louisville, and federal legislation has been introduced that will also ban no-knock warrants, these small steps in the right direction are painful reminders that there is still, or there has still, been no justice for Breonna Taylor or her family. Again, Beyoncé is very, very eloquently stating and addressing the problem. 3 months have passed, and the LMPD's investigations have created more questions than answers. Their incident report states that Ms. Taylor suffered no injuries, yet we know she was shot at least 8 times. The LMPD officers claim they announced themselves before forcing their way into Miss Taylor's apartment, but her boyfriend who was with her, as well as several neighbors, all say that this is untrue. Again, Beyoncé is addressing the problem. This is a shame. This is a shame. 3 months have passed. She goes on. 3 months have passed. This is the third paragraph. And zero arrests have been made, and no officers have been fired. The LMPD's investigation was turned over to your office, and yet all of the officers involved in the shooting remain employed by the LMPD. Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly and officers Miles Cosgrove, I believe, and Brett Hankinson must be held accountable for their actions. Again, Beyoncé is addressing the problem. 3 months have passed, and Breonna Taylor's family still waits for justice. Miss Taylor's family has not been able to take time to process and grieve. Instead, they have been working tirelessly to rally the support of friends, their community, and the country to obtain justice for Breonna. Now, Beyoncé is about to address the solution. Your office has both the power and the responsibility to bring justice to Breonna Taylor and demonstrate the value of a Black woman's life. She's not done though. I urge you to use that power, and number one, let me tell you, B is giving bullet points. Number one, bring criminal charges against Jonathan Mattingly, Miles Cosgrove, and Brett Hankinson. 2, commit to transparency in the investigation and prosecution of these officers' criminal conduct. 3, investigate the LMPD's response to Breonna Taylor's murder, as well as the persuasive practices that result in the repeated deaths of unarmed Black citizens. Don't let this case fall into the pattern of no action after a terrible tragedy. With every death of a Black person at the hands of the police, there are 2 real tragedies: the death itself and the inaction and delays that follow it. Take swift and decisive action in charging the officers. The next months cannot look like the last 3. Sincerely, Beyoncé Knowles Carter. This is like the template to use to write a letter. If you want to protest with words and you're like, I don't know how, I don't know what to say, listen, copy and paste. Copy and paste. It doesn't get any more sophisticated than this letter right here. If you want to send an email, I'll link the emails in the description. I will also link the link to this letter in the description so you can copy and paste. Whatever you do, do it. If you're protesting out in the field, aka out in the streets, do it. If you're protesting in the boardrooms, do it. If you're protesting in your families and communities, do it. If you're protesting with words by way of a letter, do it. I'm just here to help and give you guidance as I'm trying to get guidance myself. We're all in this together. We all need each other. So guys, I will catch you in the next video. Stay safe out there. Stay safe. All right, bye.